This one is going to be good. I can already tell that this is going to be a great article. This is going to be a fucking banger. Let's read. Okay. This is Wall Street Journal opinion. This is by Colin Wright. When asked what are your pronouns, don't answer. A seemingly innocuous question must demand for conformity with a regressive set of ideas. So Colin is, let's see what Colin has to say, folks. What are your pronouns? Is a seemingly innocuous question that has become increasingly common. Pronouns are now frequently displayed prominently in social media bios, email signatures, and conference name tags. Vice President Kamala Harris features she/her pronouns in her Twitter bio, and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg includes he, him, and his. Then there is the singular they, them pronouns used by non-binary people who identify as neither male nor female, as well as a growing list of bespoke neo-pronouns such as ze, ze, fe, fair, and even stranger noun self. Neo-pronouns like bun, self, which, according to the New York Times, are identities that encompass animals and fantasy characters. A recent survey of 1,000 lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender, queer, and questioning LGBTQ in the US found that a full 25% use pronouns other than she, her, and he, him exclusively. The Human Rights Campaign, which claims to be the nation's largest LGBTQ+ civil rights organization, recently tweeted, "We should all begin conversations with hi. My pronouns are _ What are yours?" We are told that asking for, sharing, and respecting pronouns is inclusive to trans and non-binary people, and that failing to do so may even constitute violence and oppression. If this all sounds confusing and makes you uncomfortable for reasons you find difficult to articulate, you're not alone. I love this. This basically is asking, are you a reactionary goofball? Can you possibly explain your opinion in any way other than, I don't like it? Well, if so, I've got an article for you. Continue reading. While being subjected to constant rituals of pronoun exchange may seem silly or annoying at best and exhausting at worst, in reality, participating in this ostensibly benign practice helps to normalize a regressive ideology that is inflicting enormous harm. So enormous fucking harm. Holy shit, folks. Holy shit. There's enormous harm in this society. Like, mandating that people go to work in the middle of a deadly pandemic, is that enormous harm? I don't know. I wonder what Colin would have to say about that. But really, there's a giant, like we're talking cataclysmic level, serious, enormous, like the society as we know it might collapse, folks, because people want to use pronouns. Like, okay? To understand why, you'll need to familiarize yourself with its core tenets. All right, folks, let's get in. Proponents of gender ideology have completely decoupled the terms man, woman, boy, girl from biological sex. Okay? Gender ideology teaches the terms man, boy, and woman, girl, and their corresponding he, his, and she, her pronouns refer to a person's gender identity, while male and female refer to biological sex. I don't think that gender ideology teaches that. I think that, like, male and female being like a biological term, that is not, no one thinks that other than the people that would read this article and go like, Like, male and female are just other words to describe, like, men and women. It's just like, now you can use them in a biological sense. Okay? But again, also, we really need to talk about there is no such thing as biological sex, right? Again, biological sex exists, but it's not binary, right? There are plenty, millions of people, in fact. In fact, there are more intersex people than there are trans people in this country, right? Biological sex is not a 0 or a 1, right? There are literally hundreds of different permutations of biological sex. And also, not only that, but if someone is on hormones, that does, in fact, change their biological sex, right? If someone who was, let's say, born a man and starts taking estrogen, guess what? That will change their body. They will develop a different set of secondary sexual characteristics. Now, also, guess what? This person is alive. They actually are alive. Like, what is biology? It's the study of life. So not only is this person changing their sex, but they're also alive. And so therefore their biological sex changes. Now again, this idea that biological sex essentialism is, there's only one and there's two, there's 0 and 1, there's male or female. It's wrong. It's always been wrong. In the same way that people literally used to think that there was no such thing as Neptune, or that the sun revolved around the earth, guess what? They were wrong, right? There was science that was developed that disproved those theories. We now know that Uranus exists. We now know that the earth revolves around the sun. These are new things that we learned, right? Before genes were discovered, before DNA was discovered, like 100 years ago, think about this, 100 years ago, there was no such thing as DNA. There's no such thing. No one knew. Does that mean DNA didn't exist? No. It just meant every single human being on planet Earth had no relatively any concept at all about DNA. It didn't exist as far as humans are concerned. Does that mean that DNA wasn't real? No. It was always there. DNA always existed, right? Again, science is always developing a new understanding of the world. The world isn't changing. Our understanding of the world is what's changing, okay? So I need you to understand, there have always been trans people, right? You can go back and look at societies, especially indigenous societies in this world, right? A lot of them have multiple genders. There are current societies that exist right now that have multiple genders, 3 or more, right? That are not even remotely tied to biological sex, as this article is going to try to put them into those categories, right? Intersex people have always existed, right? So biological sex essentialism has always been a fantasy. It's a myth. This article, you might as well be reading an article that says that this a creationist article that says the evolution doesn't exist and that God created man and woman, and that's what this is. This is modern day creationism. This is modern day creationism. That's what this is. They literally believe in a mythologized fantasy narrative about how human beings are formed. This is modern day creationism. There is no difference between humans and dinosaurs walked on the same earth and this. Men and women are the only biological sexes. If you think that, now, you're a dumb person. You're a dumb motherfucker. Now again, in the same way that if you don't believe in gravity or think the earth is flat, you're a dumb motherfucker. We learned. We have more info now. We are not living in the year -7,000, okay? The earth is not flat. We know this. We have scientific tests to determine this. Sex is not binary. We know this. We have scientific tests to determine this. So again, this is like the same people that are like, Pluto's still a planet. Except imagine if, Pluto had thoughts and feelings, and them going out there and doing this weird conspiratorial garbage actually affected people's ability to live, right? Again, it's one thing, flat Earth, right? Believing that Pluto's still a planet or whatever other kind of conspiracy theory, right, that you want to believe in, believing that the sun revolves around the Earth. Those are conspiracy theories in the same way that biological sex essentialism are, except they don't actually harm people. When's the last time a flat earther has actually made someone commit suicide because of their irrational hatred of them? It's not happened. Well, maybe it has. I don't know. It's possible, right? But these people take their conspiracy theories to such a degree that they're willing to try to ostracize millions of people and depress and oppress millions of people with their scientific conspiracy garbage. Right? So again, flat Earth, it's just kind of a harmless, yeah, that guy's kind of weird kind of conspiracy theory. This is the same level of conspiratorial thinking as flat Earth, except it actually has real-world implications on millions of people. I don't think I need to read the rest of this. This is all just a bunch of fucking tripe. But anyway, I got what I needed to say about that out there. There is no such thing as biological sex essentialism. Sex is not binary. If you think it is, you are wrong. You're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. Science progresses, right? You're just wrong. I don't know what to tell you. If you still think that the earth is flat, you're wrong. If you think that the sun revolves around the earth, you're wrong. If you believe in creationism and that evolutionism is just a theory, you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. we develop our understanding of the world as we live our lives. We learn new info as we live our lives, right? Some people, right, they will eat food without hot sauce on it. They're wrong. Once they start eating food with hot sauce on it, they're then correct. They're evolving. Does that mean that they were a bad person? Not necessarily. But once you have new information, right, that hot sauce on food is objectively better, and if you disagree, you're dumb, then, again, you can attach that new information to the way that you operate in the universe, and your life will be better, and the lives of everyone around you will be better. Now, again, you thinking that sex is binary is wrong. It is objectively, by every metric, every standard of scientific understanding, it is wrong. So, okay, once you learn that information, if you go like, oh, okay, like, I'm trans, right? You might not, whoa, big shocker, right? So I'm the fucking freak in my family, right? Like, everyone's family's got a fucking freak weirdo tranny in it. That's me. I'm the fucking freak in my family, right? So everyone in my family had no idea about what transing is. I have to be that kind of person that awkwardly is like, and explain basic science to people. That's my position. It's the hurdle that I have to go through just being alive, right? So sometimes people are like, well, I don't goddamn, you're a fucking tranny freak to me. And it's like, all right, I don't need to talk to you again for the rest of your life. Emphasizing the rest of your life because I will live longer than you stupid motherfucker. But sometimes people go like, oh, I never knew that. Or thank you for explaining it to me. Now I understand. You want to know, does that mean that they were evil because they didn't understand before? No, it's just that they didn't understand. Now I taught them, now they know more info, and they've updated their model of the universe. So, that's fine. Learning new info, being wrong, and then being corrected is a good thing, and we need to emphasize this. And also, I think handshakes have done more damage to society than asking someone what their pronouns are. Let's just be honest. As far as rituals are concerned, imagine the amount of time that's been wasted with fucking handshakes or fucking pleasantries or manners or talking about the goddamn weather. Like, goddamn, motherfuck. But anyway, there you go. Basic science lesson. Boom.